Welcome to Shadows of Leão Ravager Edition. This is not the traditional Mafia game, but at its core it is still a game of good versus evil. Each of you is going to be handed a role, some of which will have one-time abilities, others might be triggered, they might be persistent, but all of you will have a role and ability. At the center of the evil is the Ravager, the sole striker, which is a big difference because in Mafia, you have a group of people. The Ravager is the only one who gets to decide who's going to be eliminated. The Ravager does command the Shadow Council, a group of lackeys whose their whole purpose is to cause chaos, deceive, protect the Ravager, but they do not get to kill. Now, you will see a list of possible roles, but you're not going to know which ones are in play. The Ironborn citizens or specialists are going to be the forces of good, fighting to survive, expose, and then purge any of the darkness. So, just to wrap that up, we have the Ironborn citizens and the specialists who make up the good team. You have the Shadow Council and the Ravagers who make up the evil team. In order to win, you have to eliminate or kill the Ravager. And in order for the Shadow Council to win, the evil team to win, they have to get down to the last day in which there are 2 to 3 people and there's no possible way for the good to win. So the Ravager is going to know who each of the Shadow Council members are. The council members know who the Ravager is, but the Shadow Council do not know who each other are. They have to figure that out during the daytime. Roles are not going to be called at night. I'm going to silently tap you to wake you up to use your ability. Also, abilities resolve instantly. So if you are killed before it's your turn, you do not wake up. If you're protected before that, then you will survive. I'll wake everybody up, announce any death and status effects. The town meeting will happen. It'll be about 3 to 8 minutes, but we are encouraged to get up, talk to people you think you should talk to, chat, form alliances, share your suspicions. I will keep track of the time, and I will let you know when it's time to come back for nomination to voting. Now, what is important to note is that after the first nomination, the person can say why, the other can defend themselves, and then we vote immediately. In order for an elimination to happen, the person needs 50% or more of the living player's votes. So if we have 10 people playing, there are 8 that are alive, you need 4 votes in order to be eliminated. Now, after that first nomination, then another nomination can occur. And then we do the same thing. We would we discuss, and then the votes would happen. Voting does start clockwise, starting to the left of the person and goes around. With that being said, once I pass you, if you voted for the person, it's locked in. If you did not vote for the person, it's also locked in. You cannot change your mind once I go past you and get back to the original person. You can't change your mind, period. If there's a tie, then no one's eliminated. If no one has 50% or more of the votes, no one's eliminated, and that's that. Also, it's important to note that if you do not come back in time when I say it's time for voting, then you could be voted out of the game without you even being present. Once you die or are eliminated, you do become a ghost and you lose your ability. So if you didn't get a chance to use it, then it kind of stinks, but that happens. However, you still continue to play the game like normal. You will close your eyes at night and you still get to talk with the townsfolk during the day. So the game's not over for you. And lastly, I will give you one last vote to use, and you need to use it wisely. So some of the status effects of the game are frozen, where you can speak, but you cannot vote. If you are silenced, you can vote, but you cannot speak. If you are affected by a status, which is delirious, drunk, stupefied, or influenced, which all mean the same thing, essentially your power does not work properly. So for example, let's say I am the seducer and I'm part of the Shadow Council and I choose the investigator and I want them to be drunk, or whatever, they're drunk. And their power, they go to investigate me, they're not gonna find out that I'm evil. They're gonna find out that I'm a townsfolk. Let's say I cause someone to be drunk, the healer, for instance, and the healer goes to save someone. Well, the healer's save is not going to work, and the person may end up dying anyway. So if you are affected by any of these, then your power just simply does not work, or you receive false information. If you have a one-time ability that you have to use during the day and someone triggers the effect on you that night, it does carry over into the day and your information or your ability is not going to work properly. As the architect, my job is to ensure balance. So if the game becomes too one-sided, I might tip the scale in favor of the losing side. You're not going to know what happened. You're not going to know why it happened or how, but it just did. So this game is not a game of deduction alone. It's a war of silence, whispers, and strategy. The Ravager walks among you. The council is going to spread its chaos, and the fate of the Leão is rest in your hands. So it's up to you. Make sure that your team wins.